So hi guys, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Welcome back. This is the last part of the Thursday live stream. Earlier I said that I might work in the Fantomorphia because by accident I bought two. So I think I might actually have a bit of a play with my my Windsor Newton watercolor markers, and the first page, or I think I want to do the skull page. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to be naughty and I'm going to do the skull page, break my New Year's resolution and do this page. I have done this page with peerless watercolors from my little book of watercolors, but I've bobbed it somewhere. Can't find it because I'm not in my studio. So I think these markers will lend themselves quite well on this paper. It's quite nice paper, so we'll have a look. I'm even tempted to put a little dash of colour and spread it around. We'll have a think about it. I will be using, I'm going to change again my mind. I think I'm going to be using my little fine brushes. Let me just have a look. Crinkling the paper with baby wipes, excuse me. Oh, hi, Suzanne, welcome back. So I'd forgotten that that's what I said I was going to do. So we need a water pot. I've got a piece of photocopy paper. I do have my watercolor brushes and I love these with these, but these are not big spaces. So I think these, oh, let's try the Derwent. Let's have a go with the Derwent. We'll try the Derwent number 1. We'll try Derwent number 1 because it's quite a nice little brush to use when it's wet, that is. That's it, when it's wet. Mine's quite an old one, this one now. It's done a lot of mileage, but it's still in good nick. Yeah, I think I use, yeah, I want to be easy now. So I think, because my hands are hurting. So I think I want to use this little brush. And apart from the odd really tiny spaces where I can get one of my little brushes out, I think I'm going to be using this with these, and I'm going to scratch them on. You can use a ceramic plate. I've got lots and lots of things kicking about. I tend to use this little plastic one, so there's some colour on there, but because I originally got them all out onto this tray and I haven't used it. This is the tray I used last week, so I think if I was using something bigger I might use this. But at the moment, I really like this little dish. And you could even, because it's so tiny and small, a small dinner plate, anything that's kind of china and pretty, and spill water, you really have to keep it because it'll crinkle your pages. So I don't actually need that at the moment, but that's the beauty of this. So actually I could get rid of this because I'm tending to drop things and spill things at the moment. So I'm going to put that on top of there. We'll see if that works. This isn't a clean baby wipe. I think this one is, I can reuse this one. And it's just that I don't want too much water, but I want a little bit. And I am on my little computer table, so it's a bit wobbly, so apologies. And I like this because actually you could, if it's dried, you can slip it underneath and just still use tiny space. So I think this is a nice way to work. Now, technically I should be going the other way, but it's too much for my shoulder. So you would have this in reverse order. If you were right-handed, it would be perfect. You would make your colour, test it, get the colour and colour in. But because I'm left-handed, it's easier for me to do this than it is to kind of move the shoulder. It's too much of a movement. This is just little tiny movements. So although normally it's easier to be on the other side, sometimes you have to do that. So originally I bought my of 12 markers, and I did use them for a couple of weeks, maybe more, and I really like these. So I think sometimes you have to buy just a small amount. I bought the 6 and I like them, so I bought this set of 12. And I really didn't have any inclination to buy any others, but because my hands are poorly, they are so easy to use. I've got them in my Derwent art bag, and I only put them in there last night. I pushed this through, I pull the top off, I push the top on, and I push it back in. There is a little tiny lip on the bullet side. So we have a bullet tip and we have a brush tip. And I'm using the bullet tip, and I'm just scratching a little bit of colour. So because there's a special offer, buy two, get one free, or at Cass Arts, it works out you get 3 for £8. At the range at the moment in the UK, it's buy 3 for £10. So I was very impressed. They came in a little box. They were individually wrapped. If I can just pick one up, because I found one on the floor this morning. There was just a couple that weren't, but most of them were individually wrapped. So that means they haven't been in a shop when people kind of practice with them and have a look at them. And I like that. So I was really worried about that. So I bought those, and also for free postage, I bought this set of watercolor paintbrushes. Sorry, looking for my little box. Sorry, guys, I've been on about 7 hours sitting here, so everything has got moved around. I have this little box next to me. Basically, I bought this little pouch with a number 4, a number 3, a number 2, and a 00 Series 7 fine art watercolor paintbrushes that are handmade. So they're very expensive. They're handmade, and they are hand tested after they've been made to make sure that they are perfect. They're a little bit expensive, but again, Cass Art had them a bit cheaper. I've also put in here my Windsor & Newton riggers. I've got 3, a 5, and a 1. And then I've also got these from quite a while ago. Pure Kolinsky sable from Germany. And I've got 2 at number 4. Don't know where they've come from. Can't remember buying them. But because they're sable, I thought I'd pop them in here. And then I have this one. And I think this one says Red Sable Germany. Pure Red Sable Germany, and it's a 50, and it is a did. It's a little diddy brush. So that's quarter the size as a 00. And because it's a sable, I put it in here. So that is really like a spotter, really tiny. If you want to highlight in a dog's eye, that's what you're going to use. So I've got those. Love them, but I think maybe for colour books, I'm not sure I want to use these. I bought them so that I can use them for my watercolor pad. Now, Windsor & Newton have also brought out their own watercolor pad, which is especially designed for these watercolors. And there's a lot of videos on the website. I did this today, very pale, building up colors. This one, I use the markers directly onto them, so a lot stronger. Scratch out some color with a marker and then move it about. They move from nothing. There's a tiny little mark there where I scratched a dark color, but more than that, they do normally move. They are light fast, and they are really, really good, but they're so easy to use. So they're in my little Derwent art bag. I decided to buy the full set because I have full set envy, or whatever we call it. So I've got my lights to darks. I've got my yellows, my oranges, my reds, my pinky reds. I've got my magentas, purples, and blues. And then on this side, I have my sap green and my greens, yellow ochre, siennas, umbers. And then on the back, I've got sepia, Payne's grey, ivory black, and lamp black. So they're my very, very darks. But I like to use a lot of colours. And by this particular one here has some very dark shades in it. Not very terribly dark, but dark enough. And this was using a green and a red. And to darken the green, I used the complementary colour red. And to darken the red, I used the complementary colour green. And I think it works quite well. So it's a bit blurred, but I like the fact that I didn't use any others. That's the only two colours I had in there on this particular section. And I like the fact that, you know, if you do have a red and a green, you can still make some darks. You can make some tertiary greens and some tertiary reds. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of pens. Having said that, I think colour mixing for me is not as easy as it was. So by scratching a little bit of colour on here, I've actually found out it's still quite pleasurable. So I still kind of like to do it. So thanks guys for stopping by. Sorry I had to stop the video. And thanks for watching on YouTube. 7-hour video. 7-hour video. I'll just see if I can do this magic trick, which I don't think for a minute that I had a message to, sorry guys, the video, it says 6 hours. You think, oh my goodness, all the people that complain about my long videos. Oops. I think I just do this and see if it works. And we'll do this one. Unfortunately, you can't do it before you've done it, so it's support. And I've just had a message to say that I have had 100 likes on a video of mine. So thank you. That's the first 100 likes. So please like and subscribe. It makes me think that I'm doing something right. And if I'm not, then I'm sure you can obviously pass a comment and tell me that as well. So by accident, I happened to buy 2 Fantomorphia Kirby Roseanne books. So this particular one, I'm going to be using the markers. I think I've fallen in love with these. I have a couple of videos with the peerless, but I think I like this one. And it'd be nice to show you a difference and to see how beautifully strong these watercolors are. And I like the fact that this fits in my little Derwent art bag. Everything fits together. And I really need that. So it means if I'm ill, I can just say, right, pass me that bag, because I know inside I've got my markers, I've got my little palette, I've got a little pot I put water in, and I don't have to get anything else out. So without further ado, sorry, I've got a tripod shadow. I apologize. I don't think I can get rid of it unless I go over there. Let's see if I can go the other way. Oops. Oh, I might be able to go that way, guys. Might be able to go that way. It means I have to turn around and get myself in a bit of a pickle, but never mind. Right, we've got a bit of a baby wipe there, just in case. I've got my bit of kitchen roll there. I'll move the camera across. Hubby brought me a cup of tea earlier, but I think that's... I'll zoom in a bit and then you can see it's the wrong way. Trying to get rid of that. That light's quite nice. Just put Alfie there to see if we can be in focus. So if I turn that this way round, you can at least see. I want you to see just how really easy it is to use these. Now I'm probably going to use a water brush because, as I say, I've been going a while now, so hands and throat's going a bit steady. I'm going to start at this side. And then what my bright colours. So we do have the phthalos. And again, I think this is why I gave in the end. We've got phthalos, got Prussian blues, we've got lilacs, mauves. So we haven't got a lilac. We've got the dioxazine violet, we've got mauve, magenta. I think I'm going to have a look at this one. We'll turn that way around purely because this is where, so this is the mauve. And again, I just take them out and push them back in there. There is a tiny little lip, so if you remember to turn it before you pull it out. If you don't, you pop the top off that. So that's the only reason I do it this way. And I just find it easier. So I think we're going to have some alizarin crimson. And we've got permanent rose. And there is a very pale one here. This one is called pale rose. I just put a bit of pale rose out. And that's all I'm doing, scratching a tiny amount. Put the lid on, and then we've got the paints here. So I've managed to get, and I've lost 2 baby wipes now. I've managed to get, it doesn't matter if it's an old baby wipe, squeeze water. This is the #1 Derwent watercolor brush. It's the driest and it's the tiniest. I like it, so I use that quite a lot. So I'm going to I'm going to pick a little bit of the pink up, and I may not get a watercolor effect because they're very strong, and this brush is a lot wetter. So I think I'm going to have a bit of purple in there as well. So as you can see, really strong. So again, just make sure it's clean if we're going to change colour. I think we'll have a pale pink here. And it's quite nice to kind of just pick up colour. And maybe better with a smaller brush, actually, I think. I must admit, it's quite chunky to use this, but I've got a bit more control, I think. I don't know. We'll just do a couple more with this one. This one is cadmium red. 5 tiny little strokes, that's all it takes. And again, it's not very messy, so again, I like that. It's not messy. Pick a bit of colour up. And again, we do have a damp wet brush, so we can get some kind of really nice paler colours there. Pick up a bit of that pink to just go in there a bit. And we could just put, oh, I don't know if I want to do that now. Maybe just a tiny bit of dark in there. Got some very nice pale colours. That's quite nice. I think possibly we need a yellow one there. So let's try something else. What's on the other side here? Let me have a look at this side here. Oh, they're all blank pages, so that's okay. So I'm going to put, I'm actually going to put this there because I can't find anything else. So I'm going to put this behind, and we'll experiment of just how good these are. So this one is called Gamboge. So I'm going to put a little bit of Gamboge there and a little bit there and a little bit there and a little bit there. Make sure that our brush is clean, and then activate that colour. it's shown through and gone through, so we can't do that. It should pick it up, but I think because it's soaked in, it's not happy. So if I do the same thing, if I put gamboge here and I pick just a tiny bit up, you can see the difference. So I've kind of wasted that because it's soaked in. So for colour book pages, really, we want to put the pens onto something else, because we can't lift that up. And this is why we can't do this with colour pages. If this was the watermarker paper, we could scrub and we could get that colour up. But because this is a paper, it's designed for colouring, not for watercolouring. We haven't got that option of scrubbing. So again, best do, wasted quarter of what I've used before. Take that round, have a lovely watercolour effect. So I still like the effect, but basically you mustn't put these on a colour page unless it's a watercolour, page. I did try it before, but you've seen it now. And again, when you try to rub through, it goes through. So the others show through, but they don't go through. But this rubbing action, we don't do in a colour book because it wrecks it. It's a colour book page. It's not a watercolour. So any watercolour books, any books you get for colouring that are actually on watercolour paper, then you can do that. But if not, you better scribbling it on a little ceramic plate or a dish or a little plastic palette. So let me have a look at that one, and I apologize, I keep saying so. It's one of my pet hates, and I still do it. So we've got yellow. Oh, I think we possibly could try this turquoise. I haven't tried it before, so we'll try this turquoise green. So I'm going to try and keep my greens together. So over there. Now they do dry, but they come back to life. So again, just that little scribble is going to give me some pretty wow colours. So make sure it's clean. Pick up a little bit of colour. So you could do this with an ordinary brush. You do it with an ordinary brush that's damp, not wet. It's just damp. I happen to be using a Derwent watercolour. A Derwent water brush. And I love sometimes you get that effect, that watercolour effect. In fact, this looks almost like an inky effect. So I'm quite tempted to use it in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. In fact, I am very tempted because that looks very inky to me. And that's because these are light, fast, pure pigments. They are professional watercolours. Oh, thank you, Ali. Thank you. What have we got down here? We've got a nice one down here. Let's have... We've got a phthalo green. We've got two phthalo greens in this. One's a yellow shade and one's just phthalo green. And then there's another one that's a red tint. So that will be interesting. But as soon as it's green, I'm going to pop it down there. So actually that looks like I would call that emerald. But I may be wrong. Let's have a look. I might put some water. Yeah, put some water there, Heather, and then we've got it. So I can work a little bit wetter because this is a good quality colour book. So we've got phthalo green in the middle. Oh, I think we'll put phthalo green on the outside. So we've got beautiful. I would call this probably emerald, even though it's coming out as phthalo. I think it's got that emerald tint to it. I don't want to offend anybody. Maybe emerald is just a bit greener. And that butterfly caught me out last time when I did that. You follow the back one and it turns into all the others. But never mind. We do that. And I do have a little bit of green left on here, so I'm going to look for another butterfly. So I think the little butterfly here, I think I'm going to give it some very pale wings. So I've not wasted any colour at all. Bit of a tight Yorkshire lass. Don't want to waste it. Green. What other colours have we got? We've got green, and we could have an orange. So we do have a cadmium orange hue. So again, I'm going to turn this round and put these with the yellows. So the reds and the oranges are together. Again, about the size of a small coin. Make sure it's wet, pick the colour up, and then either start dark on the outside, light on the inside, or vice versa. I think with butterflies, I kind of like the idea that the wings get paler from the outside. So again, we get that inky effect, which is quite nice. And I'm quite tempted to kind of, I think I'm going to do this, but I am going to put maybe either a green or a red dot. I haven't decided yet. That one. Again, I've got a tiny little bit of colour left. So I'm just going to turn the book round, and there's a little butterfly here. So I think I'm going to just give that such a soft pale. And now my brush is clean. It's very much like that one. So I might darken that actually. When it's dry, I'll go back over it and make that a bit darker, because the orange has come through as almost a gamboge. So I think I might want to keep that a bit darker. Otherwise, it'll look much of a muchness. And I do want a dot of cadmium red, or perhaps cadmium red pale. And to me, this is like a dark orange. And I just want a dot. And because I want it very strong, I'm just going to put that in. As long as I don't wet it and rub it, it won't go through. It's when you start wetting and rubbing it. So I think that looks quite nice. I think I'm going to actually put, I mean, you can use the bullet end. I just don't normally. So I think I'm tempted to just to make this butterfly slightly different to the one on the other side there. So that was blue and yellow, and this is definitely green and orange. So in the middle, we want probably a darker pink. So I've got Lycian crimson. Magenta sounds quite nice. So I've got a bit of magenta, I think, down here. Is that magenta? Yep, that one's magenta. I think eventually I'll get them in order. So I've got each one as I go around. So this is going to be quite a dark pink. But it's a tinier butterfly, so it can do to just be a bit stronger. So come around down there. Come around down there. And I think there's going to be a bit of pink on here, so I'm just going to use it. It's a very soft pink. So even though we've got some pale ones, we can really get some good colour. I think mauve would be next. I think I might have a bit of mauve. I think I might have blue. This is mid blue. I don't know what this one is. Oh, looks probably like a royal blue or a cobalt blue. I think that might look quite nice inside there. Actually, it's more like it's a purple blue. It's not quite an ultramarine, but it's near. Yeah, it's near. Let's call it mid blue. It's definitely got purple undertones. So again, a different way to work, nice and soft. Have you got any questions? Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Yes, it has a bit of an inky thing, doesn't it? So I think actually I might have to do that because I love my others, but it takes me so long to do a colour book page. I love my Derwent ink pens, but they're just sometimes. We have a cerulean blue, we have a phthalo blue green shade. Have a look at that one. I think this butterfly here may want to be this shade. Now these spaces are quite small, so you're just really stroking the page and you're picking up colour. You're picking up, and there really is like it's a pinprick of colour. That's all I'm picking up. These are very strong and beautiful colours. Yes, it's not that they dry out because I use them on a little ceramic dish. I get a blob because they're designed to blob, and I don't want a blob at that particular moment. So that's my problem. I love them, but I just don't want a blob at that time. So I tried to use this up and then ended up with more than I had to start with, but never mind. There is a little very tiny little butterfly somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone now. But there was hardly anything on the little brush. So many colours, and there's a crimson here. I think that's the crimson. I think we're going to have this. I think this is crimson. And again, that's really soft. So I think with the crimson, I think we can. Alizarin crimson hue there. And again, size of a 5p, very little, and yet now this is going to be so strong. Yeah, I think I'm going to use these as an inky butterfly book because I really would like to get some nice pages done. And I do actually have a tiny amount of pink, pale pink, probably down there. So I think we're going to have dioxidine purple. And again, it's quite nice to work. So it's going to be a bit strong, that one, but that's fine. Going over it twice will show through, definitely. Shows through. If you start rubbing, you will go through. And this is why I've put this paper behind. Technically, it doesn't match on this, but it would have gone on here if I hadn't put this on. So you must put some kind of protected coating on there because these will go through. There is no doubt about it. So I've got yellow, but it had a tinge of that purple in it, and of course what happens to purple when we put yellow with it, it darkens it. So I think perhaps a pink now. And again, I like the fact that this is a little bit quicker to work, so we're not going to be here all day, which sometimes happens with others. Really, really soft colours. And again, this, really not used hardly anything. So they are really nice to use. A damp baby white for clean is probably better than a dirty one, probably. So I've got that blue one up there. So I think we will have... I don't think there's an emerald. There is a phthalo blue. I thought there was a phthalo blue red shade. It sounded quite interesting. Yeah, phthalo blue red shade. So we'll see what that one is. That's more like a Prussian blue. Although we have a Prussian blue, it's quite a dark blue, is that one? I think I may want to go down here, because I don't want it to be the same. And being called the same, it's very similar. I say that's nearly like a cobalt blue, but I thought they had a cobalt blue here. It definitely looks like a cobalt blue to me. I do have a blue and an orange, but I think this is going to be stronger orange. Scratch a bit out of there, and then you can see really how strong these colours are. We have a very pale pink. I think I've used that one before, haven't I? I've got a darker orange down there. Oh, I've got quite a lot of yellows. I think we've had blue and permanent rose. Permanent rose is out. So again, we take that pink. So the beauty of this is you kind of just picking up colour. And again, if you go over twice, expect it to go through. Oh no, Suzanne, this is by accident. I bought two at Fantomorphia. I bought one from UK Amazon and one arrived from America Amazon, and the one that came from America cost me an arm and a leg. Don't know how that happened, because I really don't know how that happened, but it did happen, so I wasn't particularly very happy about it. I think this one will be purple. And I have used this brush for quite a long time and it's still behaving quite well. So again, I'm quite impressed with this Derwent watercolor brush. And as long as you don't kind of jiggle it about too much, if you just activate the tip, it stays fairly dry, which is quite nice, because sometimes you really don't want in your face wet, especially not for a colour book. Sorry guys, Alfie's in his Alfie mode. Oh gosh. Come on, Suzanne, get the fly swapped. I seem to be using quite pale colours, and yet These are very, very strong. I think I'm going to use this phthalo green over this phthalo blue over here, I think. So you probably get 2 or 3 butterflies from each drop of colour, which is again quite nice. Oh gosh, sorry guys, he's going to carry on until he drives us insane. He's not allowed to bark when we're preparing his dinner. Do we think he's taking any notice of us? No, I don't think so. He just drives you insane. And what he's doing is making the other dog jump up and down against us. Apologies, guys. Yes, Suzanne, there is a couple of I don't know if did I pick it up? Yes, I did. Here it is. There we go. Look. This one's in Peerless because I write it down now so I don't forget. So that's Peerless. And that's the watercolors. So yeah. So I've done 2. So there's a couple of videos on this, and I think there's a little bit of grey to do with the Peerless. Sorry guys, it's because Gigi has to have a different dinner, that's why. She has to have chicken and rice because she's not well, bless her socks. So although I meant to be stronger coloured, I've got some lovely soft watercolours on here. So I'll go with this pale pink. But I mean, you can use any colours, I think. I don't think you have to stick. I've got pink. I've got quite a lot of pink going on. I'm going to do this little one down here because I seem to have got quite a lot of pink going on. I hadn't realised. There seem to be an awful lot of. I should have a blob of water somewhere. Yeah, I have. But I probably will use quite a lot of this colour that's on here. I'll put that here. We can see what I'm doing. I'm just picking up little bits of colour. So we just have to. So Gigi's on a rice diet because she was sick. So she's on chicken and rice and chicken and pasta. Chicken breast, we say. Only the best for the girl. But I don't think she's going to be with us much longer. Here she is. She doesn't look like. Yes, you're putting weight on and you're getting a big girl, aren't you? Yes, hello. Yes, I'm getting a big girl. It's just that she doesn't want a small bowl. She wants a light bowl. She wants a huge bowl. She doesn't want that. She just wants the biggest bowl that anybody's ever seen. That's for my girl. I'm going to put this red in here as well. I think this kind of mix up some colours. But unfortunately, she's got dementia. That's why she bit hubby, obviously, because she wouldn't normally bite hubby. You can hear Alfie's bell tinkling in the background. Alfie's having his dinner. He's such a noisy eater. There's nothing delicate about Alfie. And so and she can't get through because the bolt's on. We have bolted doors and we have scratched doors. It's the zoo. Right, I'm going to pick up some purple. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to pick up some blue. I'm going to pick up some blue. I kind of fancy that to be quite strong. And this is... Oh.
Right, I'm just going to go and get Sam. I'll be back.
So we're coming up to 50 minutes. I'll go another 10 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to have to call it a day, I'm afraid, today. But thanks for joining me. I hope everybody's had a wonderful afternoon, depending on where we are. So you could just keep going with those few little scraps of colour. Probably have another purple butterfly down here. I probably could do with a slightly smaller brush. These are very strong. I probably would use them, probably not as strong as this, really. I think they lend themselves to being quite strong. So, oh gosh. Unfortunately, Alfie can open doors, and he's taught the others to do that as well. So we'll have another 10 minutes. So that's a bit of a strong colour, that one, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So have we got any questions?
Come here. Here. Alf, come here.
Dexter, can you go away, please, darling? Can you get Dexter down? Because you know what he's going to do. Dexter! 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 Can you put Alfie in there? Thank you. Goodness gracious. It's like hurting cats. It's definitely hurting cats. Honestly, it so is. It's so bad. I think that one goes over there. Then there's another one. And we've got a little diddy one in here. So... I think I like them paler than I do stronger. I'm pretty sure that I like them paler. And if they're too strong, they'll go through. So I definitely think if you use them very sparingly, you get better results, if that makes any sense. So thanks for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. It's a sunny evening here. isn't that one supposed to do? No, I'll put a pink one in here, I think. I like 2 colours. I don't think I like 3. I think I like 2 colours. I'm a bit of an old fuddy-duddy when it comes to them. I think some can be stronger than others. Oh, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. It's lovely and sunny. I think Bungle's on the trick. Little palette, and there's quite a lot on here. So there's enough to keep you going for another few. Definitely. I'm just looking to go in here. It would be probably dark blue. There's definitely lots of colour, and I picked up a large amount of colour there. Probably too strong for this particular page, but I'll do that on the same. So definitely less is more, and see if we can get so you wouldn't use very much of the colours. It's a nice little pale blue butterfly. I think we'll have if we put an orange with a red, we're going to get a completely different colour. So thanks, guys. I don't know who's on next. If anybody knows who's on next, please pop it in the box below or tell everybody who's on next. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. It was a bit strange because I didn't know how it would go being such a long stream. I hope I haven't broken YouTube. I hope I haven't broken YouTube, guys. So thanks for stopping by. I think I need to be a bit more structured rather than just pick up something and go for it. So really need to kind of get my colour books sorted and ready. So that's something I really need to have a look at. I'm going to put this butterfly behind here. And we've got a little green lizard down here, so he snuck in quite well, didn't he? I think it's dark purple. So we do have a green lizard actually, so we could put him in next. I think I'm going to do him a red belly. I can have a red belly. So we've got the little dragon in there. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. What are we doing? Oh, we've got 5 minutes left. So we'll desperately try to get rid of some of these more colours. I'd use them for lots of other things as well, so I don't have to get rid of them. That's the magenta. But you definitely get a strong sense of color when you touch certain colors. Yeah, we have a bungle. We have a bungle. Hi, Bung. I have a bungle. Hello, darling. Bungle says it's tea time now. Tea time. Oh yes, and I need to do that as well. Yes, I didn't get a chance to do this one that I picked up. I've picked up about 10. This room has about 30 books all over the floor. I picked up this one and I didn't get a chance to work in it. I am going to try and get some videos uploaded, but when you think you're recording, technically you're live. So that's something I've got to keep an eye on, really. Because you don't really think that you are live until you... So, yeah, I've got to keep an eye on that, definitely. But again, there's so many colours. And I don't think I've used every colour today. I don't think I've used every colour. No, we don't do that on that. You know you don't do that on there, Bongo. He's got Alfie pox now. He's got naughty pox. He's got Alfie pox. Honestly, just not on. No, you don't do it there. That's naughty. My word. He's normally really good on his scratch board. I think he's showing off because I'm live. Yes, I've got the Bible journaling, but I do have a show, Bible journaling, so I may have to do that on different days. I've got the and the diet one as well. So I've lost 1.5 pounds last week on Slimming World. So on the Bunny's Designs diet, Bunny Diet, Fitness and Health, that one will be about trying to lose some weight. I've got the Bible journaling on Bunny's Bible Designs. We've got Alfie's World, which should have Snotty Bungle and everybody else on it. So need to make some videos for that. And then I have another one, and I can't think what it is. Oh, the mushrooms and the books and my own artwork. So there's a lot to cram in there. Yeah, he's been good now, aren't you, Bungle? So thanks, guys. I hope you have... Again, I keep saying that. Sorry. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for my first 100 likes on a video. I think I've got 700 and some. I've been going 2 years. It says I joined on the something of June. So I've been going 2 years, and at present I have... Oh, it won't tell me on here. I think I have 700 and some videos. Oh my goodness. So I'm going out today. I think I'm being taken out to tea. It's quite a nice evening, actually. We had this weekend. We have the videos I've got. That's a bit strange. Bear with me, because so thanks, guys. I've got over 2,686 videos, but considering the fact the last one I've done is done nearly 5 hours long, that would have been 5. So I would have had just short of 700. So I tell fib. Sorry, guys. So thanks for watching. I suppose I have to have a party when I get to 1,000. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, morning or evening, depending on when you are on the planet. Love my watercolors, my watercolor markers. And you can use them, but again, they are a professional watercolor, so they're very, very strong. So you have to be careful. Far too strong to draw them straight on. You need to use them on a surface, plastic or china, and use them as you would a watercolor. Oopsie. So thanks for watching, guys. It's definitely got 1 minute and 2 minutes now, 1 hour and 2 minutes. Thanks, guys. So hopefully might do a couple in the weekend, see how we get. Could possibly try to do a live one for a dog show in Goole Park, West Park in Goole. It's a dog show, but it's in aid of the cat protection, the RSPCA for the cats. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. See you next week. Thanks for watching on YouTube.